All right, and here we are at the end of 2021, a long year. Or a short year, depending on how you experienced it.
It's kind of short.
Yeah. We're going to basically go and talk about our bests and worsts of 2021, as far as it pertains to movies and TV, of course.
Yeah, you can call this our 2021 Movie Awards, the best and worst.
Exactly.
As well as TV and anime on the side. So
we'll mention that at the end.
Yes. Do you want to start us off, Scott, with your award for best movie this year?
Sure. Let's go with the obvious one. Let's get it out of the way. Spider-Man: No Way Home, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. I'm pretty sure it's undisputed that it's one of the most interesting and best movie experiences a lot of us have had. And shoot, spoilers. I was happy to see Toby and Andrew on the screen again. That's all.
Yeah.
Of course, someone had to pick that movie.
Yeah.
Any other dissenting opinions? Anyone else not have Spider-Man?
No, hands down, one of the best, probably the best movie of 2021.
Yeah,
so.
I would agree with everything.
Really? So
Yeah.
am I the only one who doesn't have, like, I don't have, I mean, full disclosure, I don't have Spider-Man in my top 3 of this year for me personally.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, my favorite this year, I think you guys know, is Dune, obviously. That's my favorite movie for this year.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's interesting. I think that there were a lot of good movies this year, but yeah, that Dune for me is my number one. Yeah.
Nice. That was also in my top, like the Spider-Man and Dune. So since you guys took that one, I do have one more here. My favorite movie of this year, it's something that I don't, like the genre is something that I don't really watch, and it caught me by surprise. It's Promising Young Woman.
Oh, interesting. Never
Yeah,
heard
this
of it.
this one, it touches a topic that I think is a little controversial. Not a lot of people, talk about stuff like that in the movie. I don't know if I can say spoilers or not, but
I mean, you can give us the premise if you like.
yeah, it kind of deals with like rape and sexual assault and stuff like that. So it's definitely a dark topic. It's a tough topic, but also murder and revenge. So it's something that caught me by surprise, but it's definitely one of my top for 2021.
Okay. What's it called again?
Promising Young Woman.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Want to go for it, Chuku?
This is hard. I don't feel like I have one. I think you guys, Spider-Man was the only one I could think of. I mean, if I wanted to be different for the sake of different, a movie I did enjoy this year, I don't know if I can call it a best, but just for the sake of this whole list, I would like to put Malcolm and Marie. That came out in February. I think for me, one thing I liked about it, despite it being sort of like a long monologue of complaining, was that there's a lot of nuance points. Like, for example, if a director is a different skin color, are they allowed to talk about certain issues that doesn't protect their skin or pertain to their skin color? Just like if like gender, right? And I think that's a very interesting point because it's like the movie sort of was being sort of a meta in expressing that. And I think like as someone who's into art, I like ideas like that. So there are a lot of nuanced points within it that I thought were as interesting. So if I had to put a list, and that's the movie that stood out to me, but it's definitely like if I were to really think really hard enough, I definitely think I've watched better movies, and I definitely enjoy Spider-Man and Dune to some point than that movie, but I would put that for the sake of standing out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm glad there's like 2 movies that I've never really acknowledged here on this list. But I suppose we can also do some honorable mentions. I feel like Shang-Chi was a fun watch as well.
Oh, hell yeah. That definitely was a great one. Asian representation. I think my honorable mention would be, which one was it? Free Guy? Comedic relief. That was actually one of the first movies I watched in theaters, so it holds a special place for me.
Okay, I haven't seen that, so
Me either.
I've heard of it though. Someone mentioned it, so now that it's mentioned twice, I feel like I have to see it.
You haven't seen Free Guy?
I think it's on HBO.
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
good.
I'll check it out.
It's really good. For my runner-up, I would probably put The Green Knight in there. That was a movie that I really loved. The walking out of the experience of that was really great. So I would say for me, Green Knight would be my runner-up behind Dune.
Okay, I haven't seen that either. Okay, I should probably check that out too.
I guess for me, and I feel bad that I didn't watch that many movies, but I guess my honorable mention would have to be Justice League. I really,
Ooh, nice.
especially as a DC fanboy, this was definitely a
Snyder cut. Justice
yeah,
League.
obviously Snyder cut. Let's just keep that clear. It definitely was something I really enjoyed, and it was close to me to a live action version of the animated series that I really love. So yeah, I'd have to give it an honorable mention.
Okay. Any other honorable mentions from you guys? I have like maybe 2 more, but I'm curious if you guys have any.
I don't know.
You know what movie surprised me that I really liked? It's from Disney.
Oh,
Ron's Gone Wrong.
no.
Because that one is really good too.
Oh, I've never seen that, but it's Cruella. I actually really enjoyed Cruella.
yes, Cruella was a really good movie.
That was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember specifically the soundtrack really hit me for that movie. But yeah, that was a really enjoyable film, Cruella.
Yeah, it surprised me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did.
It's
I can agree with that
Disney
sentiment.
version. It's Disney's version of the Joker.
basically. Now that I just came to mind, another runner up would be Judas and the Black Messiah, that came out this year. That was a really intense movie that really and I thought it was really well made, really well done. So I would put that on the list as well.
I think another one from Disney. I'm pretty sure it came out this year. I think Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah, that came out this year.
Yeah,
Beginning
Raya
of
and
this
the
year?
Last Dragon. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rayla.
Raya?
Raya.
Raya?
We already forgot
saying the name.
We already forgot the pronunciation. But yeah, that one was I think that one deserves an honorable mention as well.
Sweet. Sounds good. Well, now I guess it's time to move on to the not so shiny part of these
Hell
awards.
yeah, this is it.
This is what the people subscribe to. They hear when they want to hear us complain. So
The worst
Okay,
movie.
that's not true. Okay.
The worst
I have
will
a
say-
couple. I have a couple here.
You have a couple. Okay. Sounds good.
I will say when we came up with this list, like I totally forgot to look at the good ones and went straight to the worst ones. I actually only have one that's on my list.
What's on your
and
list?
It came up really recently.
What is that?
It's a Matrix.
I knew
oh
you were
dang,
gonna
you stole
say
it.
that.
You stole mine.
I stole it. My bad, guys. My bad. I guess we just all agree.
I mean, in all
stole it.
fairness,
Don't worry, I have an honorable mention.
in all fairness, the bad press has made me not watch it yet. So
Don't watch it. I'm just gonna tell you. Just don't
I'm
watch
gonna watch it
it.
eventually. I have
Okay.
to because I've seen. The
Okay,
other
fair
ones,
enough.
so.
But I gotta say, if there's any movie this year or ever that's made me feel like I just wasted my time, it's this movie.
Oh wow.
This
I have to
like-
say,
I will admit, I'm glad I didn't see it on theaters. That's all I can say.
Nice.
I only watched the first hour and then I was like, man, this is way too long. And then I never finished it.
Okay, interesting. I at least watched it through, and it gets worse and worse.
It
I'll tell you
does.
that,
Yeah.
It's a
Christine.
movie that gets worse and worse over
You
time.
did a good job leaving. Like that's,
Oh,
I'm proud of
man.
you. Like that's some not a lot of people can do that. All right.
Yes, yes, man. I was hurt watching that movie, man.
I truly felt like I wasted my time, but also not only that, it felt painful. Like you mentioned, Chuk.
It
really
is.
did.
For me, it was worse because it's like I've only seen what it started for me was like I've only seen the first Matrix, and then later I was like,
Wait. Oh.
let me. Sorry. Then later, when I heard this movie was coming out, I wanted to see the other two, so I was super hyped after watching the 3, and I'm like, I can't wait for this movie, and then yeah.
And
No,
then it's
I
a
went
shit
through
show.
I went through a similar experience. I mean, I watched the first 3 before, but a long time ago, so I didn't really remember it that well. So watching it again, I was like, oh, the first one's actually pretty good. I very much enjoy this, and the second one was good too. But the third one kind of iffy. But then this one terrible. This should just be erased from history.
Yes.
Oh man.
Like I like Keanu Reeves, but it's just.
He needs to stick
This
with the John
movie
Wick
itself.
movies.
Yes.
I'll need to rewatch it because from what I remember, like the first hour wasn't bad. It was really slow though. It was very slow. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a differing opinion here.
No, you won't. No, it's
All right.
like
Maybe I
you're
won't.
trying to be
It's-
optimistic. I get it.
it's
It's good.
it's objectively bad. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, it's All right. Well, we spent a lot of time on that. That could have been like a non-spoiler review on its own. But
Well, I guess for my worst, since I didn't see Matrix Resurrection, I'll go with Mortal Kombat for me.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
that
that
is a
would
good
be-
one.
the worst one
Yeah,
for me. Even
that's pretty
and
something.
it sucks because it had a great opening fight,
I
but then
agree.
everything after that was just downhill and
Yeah.
disappointing. The R rating was worthless. It was bad. But yeah, that would be for me my worst movie of the year award.
I have
Alright.
3 that's tied for me.
wow.
I couldn't really pick between them because they were all equally as bad, in my opinion. And it's Snake Eyes,
Oh, I saw that one.
Fast 9, F9,
Yeah.
and also Venom.
Interesting.
Oh,
Although
you're gonna hate
maybe-
on Venom. You
Maybe
don't have
Venom
to
was
hate
a
on
little
Venom.
bit better, you know? But no.
You don't have to hate
Yes,
on Venom like that.
here's some hate for all 3 of those movies. And they're the same kind of genre, like action type of thing. But yeah, they all missed the mark for me. And then Venom just was not as, I don't know, it was just corny and yeah, I'm not
Wait,
gonna
are you
get
talking
into
about
it.
Venom, the movie, or Carnage? Because Carnage was
Oh,
the
sorry,
second
Carnage.
one. Okay.
Well, it's called Venom.
Venom, Let
There
There
will be
Be
carnage.
Carnage.
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
thought
those
Venom
are-
was fine.
Yeah, Venom was okay. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like great, but it also wasn't like terrible in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think maybe because I had expectations for it.
I see.
Yeah.
That
Did you watch
and
it in theaters?
Yes, I did, and it missed the mark, and yeah, it just wasn't great for me.
Yeah, nothing hurts more going into the theaters watching a bad movie.
Oh yeah, and I can definitely feel that. Because for mines, other than Matrix, and this one I actually did see in the theater, was the Kingsman. Yeah,
Oh,
that one.
that's recent.
Yeah, that was recent. That was really terrible for me. I was very disappointed with this one, especially because like
Interesting.
I love the first Kingsman. Like that's one of my top favorite movies of all time. So to see this one, it just was like it was sad. Like I was like literally there's a point where even somebody walked out of the theater and me and my friends like
Oh,
we
man.
should have just did the same thing. But like cuz it was yeah.
That bad.
I mean, it's not as bad as Matrix. I'll say that. I think it to me, I think it's sort of a, you can argue it's kind of an opinion. I think my biggest problem, without spoiling, is I didn't like the direction they took. It seems like a little misdirection for how the movie was showing on trailers. So it was kind of like they advertise one thing, but then they show you another thing. And then even with the direction they took, it just there was a lot of things that they did that contradicted. So I couldn't really, it killed my suspense of disbelief. So that was my biggest issue with the movie. And it's just like I feel bad because it's like the second Kingsman was kind of, I wouldn't say bad, but it was definitely not as great as the first one. And I'll expect this one to be better, and it's just a letdown. So
Good to know.
All right. Are there any last minute addendums that anybody wants to make? I'll say that there were 2 movies that I didn't get to see. They came out fairly recently. They're technically 2021 movies, which I think would probably have a potential of at least breaking into my best list. And that's the West Side Story. I didn't get to see that one, but I've been hearing like only great things about it. And
It was all right.
Well, you're the first one I've heard that said it was all right. But yeah, the West Side Story, I didn't get a chance to see that one. And then The Tragedy of Macbeth, Denzel Washington and Shakespeare sound like brilliance as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like if I got a chance to see it, that movie would probably have a chance of being my top movie of the year. But I didn't get a chance to see it yet, and it just came out. So yeah.
Same. I'll have to agree with you on that one.
okay,
Good to know. I'm not necessarily interested in those movies quite yet, but I do want to mention something previously that we watched, The Suicide Squad. I thought that one was a fun movie, so maybe an honorable mention for that as like something I forgot to do.
Do we have honorable mention for bad movies? Because I have another bad movie.
Okay, go for it.
Go for it.
I thought Eternals. Let's not forget that one.
Oh wow!
Eternals was the
First
most
Venom
okay movie
and then
I've watched.
Eternals.
Well, to be fair, it's there's an enjoyable to Eternals, so I can't say
Yeah.
it's completely bad, but it's also bad. I can't deny it.
Oh wait, guys, dude, we forgot a Marvel movie that
What Marvel
deserves
movie
to
did
be
we
on the worst
forget?
list.
Black Widow.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
No, come on. Now.
I forgot Black Widow. That's why.
Come on.
I
now.
forgot
That's not
it came out.
worst.
It was tempting to add it on the list. Yeah.
Eternals is worse than Black Widow.
Yes, Eternals is worse.
Really?
I felt
think
like Black Widow was way worse.
I'll have to
Nah.
agree with Scott on this one.
I guess this is a debate. We're gonna. I'm 100% sure that.
I'm not interested in debating.
which is the worst
why do
Marvel
you-
movie.
Why do you think Eternals is better than Black Widow? Just a quick sentence.
Why do I think Eternals is better? Or no, I think Black Widow is better.
Oh, sorry. Why do you think Black Widow is better? My bad.
I thought Black Widow was better just because they weren't taking the Marvel universe in a direction that I didn't like. It was grounded. It was like street level, or not street level, but you know what I mean. Like it was ground level stuff that they were dealing with, which I prefer right now at this point in time in the Marvel universe. And I think that the fighting was cool sometimes.
I would make the argument that if we were looking at story wise, at least Black Widow was more cohesive as a story. I feel like Eternals was way too much of a mess, too much of like trying to make too many things happen at once, and it's just like, I mean, again, that last scene with Icarus just flying off is just too random. Like, yeah, you can say that Black Widow had goofy moments and it kind of changed the tone, but at least it's still a finish. Like it's a more cohesive story, and I can give it credit for
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
So,
I can understand your guys' viewpoints for sure. I suppose I think Eternals is just better because I liked the aesthetic of the movie a lot more. I also thought that it feels more fresh. It feels like an actual movie that came out this year versus like a movie that felt old that should have came out a while back. And that probably also has something to do with like, you know, me liking it more, Eternals.
that's fair. That's fair.
And I don't know, I just liked the characters more. I just thought like what was going on was more interesting. The Black Widow stuff I didn't really, you know, because we know she's dead, doesn't really have too much ramifications for the future.
That's fine. I get it.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
How about you,
No,
Christine? What do you think?
I definitely liked Eternals more for the aesthetic and also the action, the superpowers. That's just way more interesting to me. I think given that it's more fantasy versus reality, probably drew me in more. The storyline for Black Widow, I could care less for.
Yeah. It's also a more polished movie because like the fight scenes with the heroes or the Eternals were great in my opinion.
Yeah, the production value was, you know, way up there, and that's probably what I'm holding above like Black Widow.
I mean,
well,
to be
that's-
fair, I think both of these movies are just mid. I don't think that they're the
Yes,
worst.
yeah, they're
So I don't
mid.
even-
These are honorable mentions in the worst category. Okay,
Yeah.
just to clear that up again.
yeah, it's that's funny.
It's
a debate of the-
we're
of the
debating
mid.
which one's worse. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a fun side tangent.
for sure.
All right, so why don't we move on to any animes and TV shows that we wanted to mention? And I think we'll just start off with the obvious one that's like the best, which is Arcane. Undoubtedly the best animation that came out this year for a TV show.
Yeah, no debate.
Yeah.
Hands down. Arcane,
Yeah.
one of our favorites.
And we're just gonna categorize it this way because we don't want to like make the video too long and have 3 categories. So I guess we can like categorize this as a TV show in general. Beats out Squid Game. I mean, how many of you guys would put Squid Game as like top TV show for you?
Like,
Okay, this is tough because I do think, and I think even in our video about Squid Game, I do think as much as we can say as a story, it's kind of like overrated or overhyped. I do feel like the impact is well deserved. So I'll give it credit for that. And I definitely was engaged with the story and definitely enjoyed it than most stories I've seen. So I can, but I definitely, it's hard for me to say it's best. That's a strong word, but I can definitely, at least I can appreciate it being somewhat in the top, but never, I wouldn't call it the best.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's your best anime or TV show of this year.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not my best. I'll say that.
Okay, we can go across the list for each person. What do you guys think for best anime or TV show this year, other than Arcane?
other than Arcane, I mean, Attack on Titan happened this year as well. Let's not
right.
forget. So that was a fantastic season of television. The
Half
first
season?
half of the first half of the final season.
Hell yeah.
So that was fantastic. And then as far as other just regular TV shows, I'll mention one that I don't know if you guys are aware of. Lupin, I thought was really good. It's this French show about this guy who's a thief, and he's inspired by the character of Lupin, the literary character of Lupin, the gentleman thief, and it's like a modern version. This guy's basically using that moniker to perform these elaborate heists, and I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Sounds interesting.
For me, I typically also don't watch these types of like romance thriller movies or shows, but You season 3 really caught me by surprise.
Oh, I hated You season 3.
I actually really liked it.
I really hate You season 3. That made me not like it. Made me long. I don't want to get into a whole debate, but I didn't like any of the main characters. Like it made me hate Joe more. Like it just
no, don't get me wrong. I hate him. Like, but it's that the fact that the show is able to get me to emote like that much passion for like this the main character, which people are supposed to kind of like love hate. But yeah, it caught me by surprise in terms of like the way the story was told.
Oh man.
But an honorable mention for me would be The Witcher season 2. It wasn't as good as the
Yes.
first one, but
No.
it was good.
I think the season 2 is better, in my opinion.
Really? I like
Interesting.
season 1 more.
See, I actually
I've only seen the first
agree.
episode of
I agree.
season
I
2,
think season
so
2 is better when I think about
That's
it.
interesting. That's
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what about it made me like it better. Maybe it was just like the storytelling for this one was
You can make sense of it more.
Yeah, it was more coherent. It was
Yeah.
definitely
Back and
more
forth in time.
easy to follow. Yeah.
it's easier to follow, but it's also like I don't know. There's things that I noticed that I don't want to spoil it for OC. So
Yeah.
there's things that I noticed that I just appreciated more. Especially like rewatching the first episode because my cousin was watching it and I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't notice this. I didn't notice that. But like there are things that elevate it in my eyes.
Right.
It definitely makes me want to read the books, and I actually looked into getting the books, so I wanted to do like a comparison.
Sorry, it's hard to hear you, Christine.
Yeah. It's hard to hear.
Oh, sorry about that. It was my mic. But I actually, it made me want to get into the books. So I definitely want to see what the comparison is like between The Witcher,
Yeah.
like the books and the TV series.
But at the same time, I will say I have to probably rewatch season 1 of Witcher just to like give it a fair comparison. But I do think The Witcher season 2 was probably one of the best TV shows that released this year for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
As far as me goes, I would say best TV show besides Arcane animated wise was Invincible. You know, I was looking kind of forward to it when I first saw that, you know, J.K. Simmons and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Steven Yeun?
Steven Yeun was going to be in it because, you know, it's like, hey, we get to see Avatar 1 and Tenzin in the show together, right? And it was really, they really took the violence and stuff in a different direction that, you know, it had like a more darker approach to that we view heroes and whatnot and kind of burden of it. So, you know, I mean, yeah, animation was weird and it could have been more put more effort, but overall I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm really curious to see what's gonna happen next. So I think it left a really good impression. And then if I had to say something else that was also as interesting and engaged me as well was Cobra Kai season 3. I thought
Nice,
that was
a good
also
one.
pretty well made as well, and you know, it's
Yeah.
making me looking forward to season 4, which is coming out tomorrow. So, you know, kind of hyped me up, I guess.
Wait, season
Nice.
4 is coming out tomorrow?
Yep, tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're recording this December 30th, by the way.
Right.
OC, want to go for it for your favorite TV show / anime? You already said Attack on
Yeah,
Titan, right?
I said Attack on Titan. Well, after Arcane, Attack on Titan, and then Lupin as like an honorable mention, just in case anybody hasn't seen it.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, we already went through all of us. I would say an honorable mention for me is Loki. I really like the aesthetic of that TV show a lot, even though for me the plot kind of fell apart at the end. I just enjoyed the experience of watching that. I also watched it like with a friend, so it was cool. Yeah. We get into worst now.
Oh,
Oh, you know what? I didn't come up with the worst TV show.
Oh, that's totally fine. We can just do whoever has the worst. Chuku?
worse besides
If you don't have one, that's
I
totally
was
fine.
gonna say,
Besides you, season
yeah,
3.
besides you, season 3. Yeah, I guess off ahead right now, I don't really have like something that I had a strong disdain opinion for. I mean,
Yeah,
other
I feel
than
like-
I guess you could say WandaVision was actually pretty bad, so I can't ignore that. I don't know.
That's a hot take. I think me and you have that hot take that we don't like WandaVision.
I
very
I
liked
don't like
it.
WandaVision either.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
the
there you
only
go.
one. I liked it. I didn't like the end,
Yeah.
but I liked it.
No, I just don't
Yeah.
like.
I just don't
I just don't like it.
I just don't like it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was something that had potentially to be something great, and then it kind of just I don't know, they went a whole different direction that kind of ruined it for me. So it's like,
Yeah. I think that's a chief example of how they didn't stick the landing of the show. At least for me personally, they didn't stick the landing, and it just ruins the experience of the entire show.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
WandaVision.
I guess another honorable mention, but this is tough because I feel like the last few episodes save it, would be Rick and Morty this season. Because
Really?
I feel like, yeah, because I feel like after the first episode, I didn't really
haven't watched
like.
it yet.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay.
I did not like all the episodes until episode 7, I believe. I think that's where, because it started becoming more connected, and from that's when I thought the season was really good. And I'll admit the episodes from 7 kind of, you can almost say it balances out, but for it to be like not that interesting until then was kind of a disappointment.
I enjoyed the last season for the most part.
You seen season 5?
Yeah, I believe I'm caught up.
Okay, cool.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
But yeah, if we don't have any other worst mentions, then that's pretty much it.
Maybe Hawkeye.
Awesome.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I didn't finish. I haven't finished.
Yeah,
it.
I will.
mediocre.
I
I will say that ending with that one character that came back, since Chuka hasn't seen it.
I mean, I know who the character is, but
Oh, okay. Well, I think they just did terrible with that ending.
Agreed.
Similar idea of like not sticking the landing for the ending.
oh,
I didn't really.
Sorry, I was gonna say I know another bad show, Cowboy
well-
Bebop.
Oh.
I'm sure there's plenty we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Right. It's
No,
the-
I actually watched it, so it wasn't like.
Right. The
Yeah,
struggle
yeah.
with this is that if a show is bad, I usually don't finish it. So that's
I watched it because I did love Bebop and I wanted to give it a chance. And at some point, to me, it went. At first, it was bad, and then it got a little bit better, and then it just ended weirdly. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
fair enough.
Oh, you know what? I do have one. And I'm not sure if you guys have watched it yet, but it did come out this year. It's the Shadow and Bone Netflix series. I actually
didn't watch
recently finished the book series. And then I started watching the Netflix series, and it's not that great. It would be my worst TV show. But I do
Okay.
have an honorable mention for kind of like a good one is South Park post-COVID. So
Oh,
after COVID,
interesting.
they released I think it was a 2-episode special, and it's actually really, really funny. So if you guys like South Park, I recommend you to watch it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, there's probably plenty of stuff that we've like not talked about that are good and bad, but let us know your thoughts about the best and worst of 2021 in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.